Welcome back to another edition of Idology, your weekly deep dive into all things American Idol, brought to you by two words, Tasia.
Yes, sir.
I'm here with, I can't even believe I just said that, but I'm here with Season 6 standout Melinda Doolittle. Melinda, thanks for being with us today.
I got two more words for you. Lip tremble.
Melinda, we've got to talk about top 5 week on Idol and the final 4 that we're left with in Season 12. And I've got to say, I don't know if there's ever been a top 4 that's this closely matched. I can legitimately say I would not be shocked by a win from any one of these 4 girls at this point. And if you ask me who is the front runner, I really don't know that I could pick any one of them. It's a tight race.
It's really down to personal preference at this point because they're all so great at what they do.
There are 5 great girls left in this show. They're gonna live or die based on their song choices.
They've got to prove that they're smart, that they're savvy, and that they're hungry. We cannot have any lazy performances. We can't have anything where we question whether they really want this. Obviously, Candace has been my favorite this season, but she needs to perform at her highest level because there is a window for any one of those other 3 girls to come in and take this.
They're also going to need the freedom to choose the right songs because when theme weeks and certain things put them in a box, a lot of times they're kind of restricted on what they can do and they try to be creative within that box, but it only gives them so much room.
I try to watch the show as closely as humanly possible and read all the tea leaves and look for subtle signals. And my gut feeling is that the show, AKA Uncle Nigel, really more than anything wants an Amber Cree finale.
I've been reading your recaps and reading about how they speak to them most about just that their future and, you know, future concerts.
You're not country. You're worldly. You're iconic.
With Amber, we get the same thing. It's like, I can't wait for your release, baby girl. You are the whole package.
You potentially a massive star.
And they did that with Scotty and Lauren back in Season 10, and they never talked about Haley's post-Idol career. It was often like, you gave the best vocal of the night. And that's the treatment Candace is getting a little bit.
Again, that's the best vocal of the night.
And with Angie, there's a lot of, I can't wait for you to be able to go on the road so you can become more natural.
That's the bit I'm looking forward to, where all the edges sort of get softened and you get looser.
But with all my conspiracy theories aside, I can't say any one of the 4 finalists has a legitimate reason to complain or feel betrayed by the show. The show has been pretty good to all of them. The judges have been pretty effusive.
You're just a superstar. You are a superstar.
And maybe beyond effusive in some of their very best moments.
One of the greatest performances in the history, 12 years of American Idol.
Did you happen to count the number of standing ovations that happened this week?
In the second half of the competition for Divas, there were 4 out of 5 standing ovations. So it was quite clear which of the final 5 they weren't putting their weight behind. It was pretty much like, vote for anybody except for Janelle.
There might be some more dynamic girls here, but I don't think that has anything to do with how far you can go in the real world.
The other big question with a capital B and capital Q that I want to discuss this week is Idol trying too hard to make Amber Holcomb happen?
I don't think you get the credit that you deserve.
I hope America gets it right.
Please vote for Amber. Thank you for this performance.
Okay, I actually am a little baffled personally by Amber because even this week, her first performance to me, it was not a great one.
I can't forget tomorrow when I think of all my sorrow.
The low part was like too low and a little bit wobbly for her, and then the high part didn't like sit in her sweet spot at all, and she even went a little sharp on it. So I was confused by that first song, but then her second song was actually my favorite performance of the night.
What Are You Doing the Rest of Your Life was the performance of the week, hands down. It was like meticulous perfection, but I didn't feel the effort of Amber trying to be meticulous.
In fields of gold and first of the night,
There's an easy comfort to what she can do, and yet it's super impressive at the same time. Her challenge is maybe consistency. She can't do a without you level performance.
Nicki Minaj, to me, is probably one of the most honest judges right now. I mean, she just kind of says whatever she feels in the moment. And the fact that she stayed in her seat and that she's been Amber's biggest cheerleader this entire time, but was able to say, that one wasn't good.
You seem like not my normal Amber. You seemed a little scared.
I think if she has another week like that, where she has a song that lands like that, then I don't know that she can make it to the finals.
The other weird thing that we've got to discuss when it comes to Amber, and it's sort of, I think, you know, the elephant in the room, is that she's hot. It is what it is. I think from a major label perspective, it's like those legs and that voice.
You're really pretty.
We could own the world. Like, Rihanna can't sing like that.
You're like this young Rihanna with this giant voice to me.
But aren't all 4 women in this finale totally gorgeous? Do they come more gorgeous than Cree?
Gorgeous.
Does Candace not have a face that could stop traffic or stop a clock? I'm not sure which she's stopping, maybe both. Does Angie not have a set of banging legs on her? Like, really?
They're all gorgeous. But I think that they see in Amber like this complete package. I mean, she's toned, she's itty bitty, she's young, she's got a young voice, she thinks younger. Like, I think that they're seeing a youthfulness and an immediate top 40 like entrance for her.
She looked like the entire package. She's everything that I look for in a recording artist.
All right, we've discussed the Amber situation. We've discussed the closeness of the race. Melinda, if you were in charge of the world, and at this moment had to select who is going to be in the finale, who would you pick?
I'm gonna put Candace in there, and then I'm going to say Amber.
Controversial.
I know. I really wanted to say Cree. I'm gonna say Candace and Amber.
Was it her performances in top 5 week that sort of downgraded her for you? Let's talk about Cree for a second. I thought Mariah made a very interesting point after Cree's second song when she said,
Obviously, this is not what you've been kind of promoting as your style.
I don't know why Cree chose that really boring Celine Dion song.
She sang it really well, and on Divas Week, I get it.
Waiting for something that was heaven sent.
However, we've already been in love with that kind of folksy, country, bluesy thing that you're doing, and it's what we want.
And I think She Talks to Angels was the right song choice, but something in the delivery and in the facial expression and in the weird head thing that she was doing, it took me out of the performance, because I think she was out of the performance here and there.
Says they all know her name.
There were a couple of times where she just got a weird smile and she was just sort of like, what? Like, this is not the song for that. In an ideal world, obviously, I think I've got to have Candace in my final 2. And it's hard for me to envision a final 2 without Cree. But we're at top 4 week, and she can't allow Amber or Angie to zoom past her. And right now, they've zoomed up alongside of her. The same goes for Candace. I've dreamed about a finale with Candace since season 11, but I don't think she can pick When You Believe by Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey and then think that that's gonna just automatically carry her to the finale. She's gonna have to be more interesting than that. And look, I know it was Divas Week, and I know that Candace and Cree probably thought, well, we gotta pick one of the big divas, and maybe they were even told, you gotta pick one of the big divas and pick one of the big ballads. They probably were. But I think performances like those from those 2 women, fine as they may be, and spot on as they may be, opens the door for a hungry contestant like Angie to come in and say, you know what, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna eat your lunch.
It makes sense to me, except for that I just think Candace owned that song.
Who knows what miracles you can achieve?
In the words of Candace, bye.
I know it was the first one of 10 performances, and so it got lost a little bit in the buzz, but to me, that was number 2 this week, right behind the Barbra Streisand cover by Amber. I loved it.
Straight up now tell me, is it gonna be you and me forever, yeah?
Thank you, Candace, for singing the living daylights out of it. Thank you for bringing a new life to the song. Thank you for bringing Paula Abdul back.
Now, that's an image I can scratch off my bucket list right there.
We have not discussed Angie Miller, and I think you and I have a bit of a disagreement. I got beaten up a little bit in the comments section of my written recap for not grading Angie high on I'll Stand By You and Halo. But I didn't think the vocals were great on either one of them, particularly on I'll Stand By You.
Oh, I'll stand by you.
I will admit that the standing ovation was probably more for Boston than anything.
This is for my home, Boston.
I will admit that she almost flubbed her lyrics twice.
When the night falls on you.
But I went back and listened to it a couple of times, and she sang it so well. I loved Halo more. I don't know that I would have given either one like a huge standing ovation, but I definitely loved what she did with the end of Halo, which I seem to recall you did not like at all.
I just felt like she was yelling at me at the end. I didn't get musical or believable. I'll say this about Angie. I appreciate she seems like a worker. She is not taking one second of this opportunity for granted. She's not going to be one of these kids who comes in and sits across from me and says, I would have been happy to finish 6th, or I'm happy to finish 9th. Angie is here for a reason. She has visualized her victory probably for the last decade, and damn it all, she wants that victory, and she is not going to rest until she has that victory. And I appreciate that about her. I think she's hungry. I think she's talented. No one's going to outwork her. But I think for a singer like her that maybe doesn't quite have the youthful energy of Amber or the gusto of Candace, her vocals gotta be spot on. She cannot let that advantage be taken away from her.
Fine then. Bye.
I'm Haley Steinfeld and you're watching ENTV.
Hi, my name is Kieran Shipka and you're watching ENTV.
Aubrey Plaza, ENTV. I just touched it with my mouth, sorry.